Hello, good morning, everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome, Ting. Nadine, hello. Good morning, Nadine.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Are you okay?
I have
Nadine as
eight.
co-host ya. Nadine as co-host.
Okay,
Please
sir.
help Pak Khairul to admit all friends for joining the meeting. Yasar Rizky Maulana. You are also as co-host. Yasar. And Komting Raihan. Nadila. Still process. Join this group, this meeting. Okay, Raihan, alhamdulillah, success. Raihan also as co-host. For minutes again, we continue our presentations. Hello, Raihan.
Yes, sir.
Who is a moderator for this meeting?
It's me.
Okay, thank you. Raihan, please make sure your friends for showing the maybe virtual background, especially for the presenters. Okay, Tamarin Gendis Dewi, okay. Are you presenter for this meeting?
Yes, sir.
How about your members?
We're still waiting for one.
Okay. Gustiar Fatki. Are you presenter now, Gustiar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. One minute again. We start our meeting. Okay. Please, all of you, and before start our meeting, please recite together to say Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning for everyone in this special meeting. Inshallah, we would like to continue our meeting, our presentations, and hopefully always barakallah, always meaningful and impactful for us in deepening our knowledge about Islamic studies. Inshallah, from meeting to meeting, we always try to learn the best for us in our life. And then we continue our special presentations. And the counting right hand, please, the time is yours for managing the presentation group. Right hand. Okay. Please, right hand.
Thank you, Pak Khairul. So, before we begin the presentation today, let me introduce myself. My name is Ryan Oledava as the moderator in this meeting. So, in this morning, we will hear the presentation from the group 6. For the group 6, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone. So today we're from group 6 and we're gonna give a presentation about role and function of the mosque for the welfare of the ummah. My name is Tamarin Dewi Kinari.
My name is Gustiar Fatki from Mechanical Engineering.
And my name is Muhammad Aqil Mumtaz from Industrial and System Engineering.
Okay. Okay. So first we have the definition of the mosque. So in language, the word mosque is the place used for prostration, but etymologically speaking, mosque means a place to pray. And it used for and mosque can be used for community centers, for example, holiday celebration, discussion, religious studies, lectures, and studying the Al-Quran. But a mosque can be also called musola, but the difference is it's a place of worship that we don't use for Friday prayers, iktikaf, and musola usually smaller than a mosque. So to build a mosque, we must follow the guide, and we can't just build it randomly without any research to do it. The condition for building a mosque is to first, the mosque have to be in the center of the city. The mosque have to have an easy access to go there. And then the mosque have to facing the Qibla. That means the direction of the Kaaba, which is the direction of prayer for Muslims. And then the most important thing is that the mosque must be built with holy and halal materials.
All right, next is the history of mosque. I will explain it simply, not so complex. In Rasulullah era, mosque has been used as a place for preaching Islam. Since Rasulullah went to Hira cave, he spreads Islam by preaching in Al-Haram Mosque, but before it wasn't a mosque. But it didn't work well, so he hijrah and his followers, and he went to Madinah. The first mosque ever built is Quba Mosque. It's in the outskirts of Madinah, and then the imam there is Muaz bin Jabal. It is the first mosque ever built. And the next one is Rasulullah. When Rasulullah arrived at Madinah, he built Nabawi Mosque, and he lived there. And then he used Nabawi Mosque as the center of worship, government, social culture, education, and military. And then the third mosque that was built during Rasulullah era is Qiblatan Mosque, when the Qiblah of Islam was moved from Al-Aqsa Mosque to Al-Haram Mosque. Next. After Rasulullah's death, Islam has grown enormous, and it spreads all over the Arabia and outside of Arabia. So there will be a need to spread and increase the capacity of the mosque itself. With the increase of Islam's followers after Rasulullah era, mosque has been renovated to accommodate the increasing number of ummah. The most notable example is Al-Haram Mosque and Nabawi Mosque renovation, which was renovated in Umar and Usman era, in which in Nabawi Mosque, Usman added some stone and steel and to build some pillars on the side of the Nabawi Mosque. Also, in Usman era, he renovated the Quba Mosque also. There are also some new mosques built after Rasulullah era because of the Islamic expansion. So not everyone will come to Jazirah Arab every day. So they have to build mosque in their region. For example, Umar Mosque built in Baitul Maqdis, Palestine by Khalifah Umar himself. And then Kufah Mosque built by Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas in 18 Hijriah by using Persian material in Kufah, Iraq. And then Al-Atiq Mosque built by Amr bin As in Fustat, Egypt. Basra Mosque built by Babin Ghazwan in Iraq. Madain Mosque also by Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas. And also some parts of the Saint John Cathedral were transformed into mosque by Abu Ubaidah in Damascus, Syria. Next.
Next is roles and function of mosque in society. At the time of Prophet, the mosque was the center of government, education, social, and economy. Along with the times and the swift flow of secularization and the materialistic view of life, without realizing it, the role of mosque in the life of Muslim is getting smaller. And now, mosque is as a center of worship. Al-Muslim who have reached maturity are instructed to perform the obligatory prayers 5 times a day at the mosque. And second, mosque as the social activities or muamalah, such as holding and management of zakat funds. The mosque is also a place for activities to raise funds. Mosques also often hold bazaars where Muslims can buy religious tools and Islamic books. A mosque is also a place for marriage contracts, like other religious places of worship. And the third, mosques are schools that are specifically based on Islamic teaching. Another main function of the mosque is as a place for education. Several mosques, especially mosques that are funded by the government, usually provide a place to study both Islamic and general subjects. Now, mosque and politics. At the end of the 20th century, the role of the mosque as a place for politics began to increase. Currently, participation in the community is starting to become the main agenda for mosques in the West. Because seeing the surrounding community is important, mosques are used as place for peaceful dialogue and discussion between Muslim and non-Muslims. Thank you. Any question?
Thank you for the group 6 for giving us the presentation. So after this, we will move into the Q&A session for participants who wish to ask, may raise hand and are using the Zoom chat feature.
Komteng, please close the presentation, PPT or PPT. Okay, thank you.
Already, sir. We have moved into the Q&A session.
Yes. From group 1, 2, 3, and the group. Okay, Ishar.
Halo, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izarfidin Irni from Group 1. I have a question regarding the St. John Cathedral that is turned into a mosque. What was the history behind it? Was it a war or a diplomacy? And how do you turn a cathedral into a mosque? Thank you.
Can I ask?
Yes, Afif, please.
My question is a little bit similar with is her question. My question is there any special behavior when a church is turned into a mosque? Like how to mensucikan or something? Thank you. My name is Afif from group 5.
For all participants, are there any questions? If there is no, I will let the speaker give the answer for the previous question.
Right, thank you, Zarvidin. I will answer your questions about how Saint John Cathedral was turned into a mosque. So before Islam reached the Sham lands, the dominant religion in there is Christianity. But during the expansion of Islam in Umar bin Khattab era, Abu Ubaidah, as the leader of Islam force in Sham, he he entered the he entered the Damascus in Sham, and then he spreads Islam there. And then also as the leader of Islam in Damascus, the priest or the yes the priest give warm welcome to him, and then he he turned to and then he offered the church to Abu Ubaidah to be turned into a mosque. So there is no forcing of turning church into a mosque. There was no, sorry. And for Afif questions, how did they open the mosque? How did they open the mosque? Clearly, Islam is spread with good words, and not by forcing, but because of most of Damascus people or some people converted to Islam, and then some of the priests there offered some parts of the church to be turned into a mosque before.
For Isar and Afif, is the answer enough?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
For Kamila, you may ask the question.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kamila from Group 4. I want to ask a question. Oh, maybe 2 questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay, it's okay.
Okay. So the first question is, as Gendis explained in the slide, she said that masjid itu bisa dibangun with the holy and halal material. So what is the meaning of that holy and halal material? And the second question is, why usually in the mosque di kubahnya itu biasanya ada lambang bulan dan bintang. is there any purpose, or maybe it's just something that melambangkan Islam? Thank you.
And next question, Nadine, you may ask the question.
Okay, so I'm sorry because my voice is not clear because I have a headache. I'm Nadine from Group 1. My question is quite similar to Camila, but my question is there any rules, specific rules to build a mouse? And what makes a building a mouse? So it's not just visually a mouse, but the real question is what makes a building a mouse? Since there's a various kind of mouse that we face in another area or region, and it looks different. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, for the speakers, you may answer the question.
My name is Tamani Ginis Dewi Kinari, and I'm gonna answer Camila's questions. So Camila asked, the first question is, what is the meaning of mosque that have to be built by holy and halal materials? It means like because halal doesn't mean just for food, right? So it means like we have to buy or about the materials with a halal way, like with a halal money and like that. And then the second question is, why must have usually have moon and star symbol? So initially, the symbol of the moon and star had no relation to the religion, so that it was not called a Shiar Islam, but was a political nature. This crescent moon flag became the official flag of Muslims at that time because all areas of the Islamic world were under the auspices of the Islamic Caliphate. Is there any question again, Camila?
It's clear. Thank you, Gendis.
You're welcome.
I would like to remind the participants once again, for all the participants who wish to ask, you can use the raise hand or the Zoom chat feature. For the group 6, is there any answer yet for the Nadine's question?
Okay, so I'm gonna answer Nadine's question. Nadine asked about is there any rule to build a mosque and what makes building a mosque? So the rules are based from our presentation. The rules are the mosque have to be in the center of the city. The mosque have to have an easy access. The mosque have to facing the Qibla. That means the direction of the Kaabah. And the mosque must be built with holy and halal materials. And what makes a building a mosque is any act of worship that follows the Islamic rules of prayer can be said to create a mosque, whether or not it takes place in a special building. Informal and open air places of worship are called musola, while mosques used for communal prayer on Fridays are known as jami. That is for Nadine's questions.
Thank you, Ganesh, for answering my question.
You're welcome. Is there any questions from other groups?
Excuse me, can I ask a question? So I want to ask about there are a lot of anti-mosque incidents across the world in recent years, like terrorism in a mosque. And how can that happen? My question is how can that happen, and what is your opinion about that? Thank you.
Excuse me, I want to ask a question. I'm Talita Ramakbari from Group 7. I want to ask, as you said in your presentation, at the end of the 20th century, the role of the mosque as a place for politicals began to increase. Currently, participation in the community is starting to become the main agenda for mosque in the West. Uh, my question is, what kind of political agenda in Moscow in the West? Thank you.
Thank you, Talita, for the question. For the speakers, you may answer the Nadila and Talita's question.
Can I answer?
Yes.
I want to answer the Nadila question. In my opinion, terrorist attack on the mosque can happen because the intoleration, racism, and Islamophobic. I think that is the reason why there is a mosque attack. Thank you. Is that answering your question, Nadila?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Can I answer it now?
Yes, please.
I want to answer the Thalita question. What is the political agenda meaning? Political agenda in the West is, for example, in my opinion, is like spreading the Islamic influence in the West country and sharing about Islam more in the West country. I think something like that. Is it clear?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I want to ask, based on your presentation, as we know that Islam and politics have close ties, and as we know that many ulama who often discuss about politics that are viewed as radical people, and also in recent years many people have been under the assumption that Islam is unrelated with the politics. My question is, why this preconceived notion, and what the solution of it? Thank you. Sorry, my name is Altov from Group 2.
Thank you, Alta, for the question. So, I want to ask I'm from the group 3. I want to ask the question to the speakers based on your presentation slide. The role of another main function of the mosque is a place of education. So what do you think about it? Is there any difference for the implementation of this function? Is there any different with the past, or in what my point is, what do you think of this function in this era? That is it still that the mosque is still as the place for education? Thank you.
Okay, I will answer about Raihan's questions first. About mosque roles in the education sectors. So the difference between the past and present function of education is in the past mostly education is based on the mosque and on the mosque so because in the past there is still caliphate or maybe Islamic dynasty, so everything must be related to religion, to Islamic religion. But in present today's is in mostly it's how to develop younger Islamic generation to face the dynamic of this 21st century. So we will think advance, but we didn't uh, abandon our faith, which is Islamic faith. And then mostly in present day, most education's function is like kajian ba'da subuh or maybe kultum. Is it clear?
Yes, it is. Thank you, Akil.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, Marhan.
Okay. My name is Marhen from Group 8, and I would like to ask a question regarding what is the essential, what is the essential architectural elements of a mosque? Like, for example, does a mosque must have a dome, or the does a mosque must have a tower stand by it, or yeah, I would like to ask what are the essential architectural elements of a mosque in general? Thank you.
My name is Tamarin Bindis Dewi Kinari, and I'm gonna answer Altof's question. Altof asked about why is there an assumption that Islam has nothing to do with politics. Based from an article that has a Jangan Campurkan Agama dan Politik title that by Hasanuddin Abdurrahman. Separating religion and politics is a discourse that sounds uncomfortable for a group of people. For them, religion is synonymous with morality, so they consider separating religion and politics to be synonymous with politics without morals. or in other words, keep politics away from religious value. Even though his wish was not like that, religion has several sides, namely moral values, set of rules, and emotional zeal. It is desirable that universal moral values be present in politics, or politics without morals, and politics without morals is really dangerous. Is that answering your question, Alta?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
While we are waiting for the Marhan's question, for the answer of Marhan questions, I will let Ardelia to ask a question. So Ardelia, please ask.
Yeah, thank you, Rayhan. My name is Ardelia from Group 2. I would like to ask from your previous explanation to the previous question, I want to make sure, is it okay to turn a building that's not originally proposed as a mosque and turn it into a mosque? And is the prayer we do there considered as perfect? Also, is there any specific rules regarding who or what can enter the mosque, and what the do's and do nots when we enter and during we're in the mosque? Thank you.
Thank you, Dela. So I will return to the speaker for answering the question.
I want to answer the Marhen question.
Yes, please.
Any act of worship that follows the Islamic rules of prayer can be said to be a mosque, whether or not it takes place in a special building. Informal and open-air places of worship are called musalla, while mosques used for communal prayer on Fridays are known as jami. And mosque is especially for pray, as long as it's used to as long as it can use to pray, it can be called a mosque. I think like that. Is it clear, Marhain?
Very clear. Thank you for the answer.
All right, so I will answer Artila's question. Is it okay to turn other worship place into a mosque? Yes, it can, as long it doesn't harm or hurt any other religion in process. Like the example of John Cathedral when Abu Ubaidah freed the city from Roman people. There is some agreement about the worshipping place in Damascus, and many of the Roman people who is fanatic Christianity left the Damascus. So the population of Muslims there grew bigger, but during that time they introduced some agreement to share some parts of the mosque to share some parts of the church to be turned into a mosque. Same like the example of the turning of Hagia Sophia in Turkey from the cathedral into a grand mosque like today. And then can other non-Muslim people enter the mosque? Yes, they can. But there are some rules according to that. First, a Muslim or non-Muslim have to dress modestly. Shoulders and knees should be covered, which is according to Islamic law. And the second, women should cover their hair. There is a specific counter on the side of the mosque that rent the mukena sometimes for non-Muslim. And then remove your shoes before entering a mosque. You either leave them outside or carrying them in a bag. And then do not eat inside the mosque. And then make as little noise as possible, and preferably switch off your mobile phone so it will not disturb any other worshippers. And then even outside prayer times, do not disturb worshippers who may be praying. Do not stand close to them or walk in front of them, because it is prohibited in Islam, and it has very bad consequences. And then the last, taking pictures or shooting videos inside a mosque is allowed, but do not point your camera at people praying or at believers in their absolution process outside a mosque. So we have to let the prayers pray, and then uh, you we are not allowed to take pictures of them, because sometimes it is considered riya. Thank you. Is it answering your questions?
Yes, thank you, Akil.
Is there any question? If there is not, I would like to say thank you for all speakers and all participants. And I will return the virtual microphone to Pak Hoirul. Pak Hoirul, please.
Okay, thank you very much for moderator and all presenters and also all audience. Today we talk about the role of mosque, especially for strengthening our society. This is, of course, we talk about the positive contribution or maybe the positive impact of the mosque in everywhere. Yes, we know that the mosque is especially for the place of worship. But in this meeting, we're not only talking about the mosque as function of the place of worship, but also we talking widely perspective about the function and the role of the mosque. So this is, I think, important for us to to know more, or maybe to understand the other function most for maybe all aspect of the Muslim. So that's why we need to know more, and maybe to review, or maybe to research. Pak Khairul, yeah, just share the 2 or 3 article specifically on the topic, about specifically the topic on the mosque function. Yeah, this is alhamdulillah, ya, part of the international paper from Pak Khairul, result of the research specifically on the mosque function, on the mosque rules. In the context of the role of the mosque, I think Pak Khairul try to research, yeah, and share in the chatting, in the Zoom, yeah, about the role of the Chengho Mosque, the New Silk Road Indonesia, China relation in Islamic cultural identity, and also the relation between mosque and social history of Islamic education. And the last paper, Pak Khairul also shared in the chatting about the Chinese ways of being good Muslim from the Chengho Mosque to Islamic education and media literacy. This is part of example maybe for understanding more and more about the set of the maybe outside of or inside of aspect of Islamic mosque in the country. You know that maybe physically we can understand why the mosque, like maybe from your friend give question about the symbol of the mosque in the front of Kuba, like why there are symbol of star and the moon. Is there relation between Islamic teaching and maybe other purpose? Yes, this question I think good. Maybe there maybe we can research why from the historian note maybe about the symbol. Different place, I think different symbol in building the mosque. So that's why Pak Khairul also research on the Chengho Mosque. You know that in the Chinese Muslim mosque is different from maybe Japanese mosque, or maybe Malaysia, or maybe the mosque in the Middle East. In this context, of course, this is part of uniqueness. Of course, part of diversity in Islamic building, especially the mosque building. I think no problem. A different architecture, different symbol, but the goal of the building or the symbol is makes people to, yeah, maybe to motivate their effort to pray to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Maybe the symbol of moon and the star is part of the symbol in the sky to maybe to remember, to remind to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Why not this symbol is why the symbol is not like maybe something like maybe different, not something like that. I think also no problem. If you maybe search from the like Pak Khairul ini maybe background, I would like to show you about the different building about the mosque. If we want to know more about the mosque in our country, like from Aceh, yeah, this is my virtual background, my video background. Yeah. This is we can maybe understand different mosques specifically in architecture in Indonesian from Aceh to Papua. Yeah. This is part of interesting topic for us in understanding maybe the role and the function of the mosque from maybe the architecture aspect. Like Pak Khairul research from the Cengho Mosque in Indonesia. This is physically or maybe in the aspect of architecture is different. So that's why Chinese Muslim people build the mosque like this one. Yeah, Cengho Mosque in Palembang maybe in this one. This is masjid or the mosque is not only the place of worship but also the place of the tourist destination from the city. Like in Surabaya, Cengho Mosque, this is a very good destination for all people to visit in Surabaya. Yeah, beside maybe culinary aspect and also maybe other aspect of business purposes in visiting the Surabaya city. I think visiting Cengho Mosque is part of the interesting destination for everyone from Indonesia or maybe outside Indonesia to know more about the interesting or maybe a good place for visiting all the people. Yes, this is I think a part of interesting for us to explore about the function of the mosque, not only about the historical aspect of the mosque. Maybe, yes, from Rasulullah, maybe we can explore how the function of the mosque. But importantly, I think how to explore the function and the role of the mosque for 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 the future or for future and for the present. Yes, similarly, all the function, the mosque is a place of worship. In this context, of course, we 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 are not maybe we are not about it, maybe doesn't need to discuss about the function of the mosque as a place of worship, but also we can discuss and explore about the function of the mosque beside the place of worship. What the function in the context of the future, in the context of now. Maybe we can learn from the function of the mosque in the context of the past, from the era Rasulullah, in the aspect of education, in the aspect of ibadah, of the aspect of iman, of the aspect maybe from politic, in the aspect of politic at the time, of course. And now I think like your friend also give question about the aspect of politics in the Western mosque, like Pak Khairul visit to the United States of America. I think the function of the mosque in the aspect of politics is politics for goodness, yeah, politics for how to do the best in the relation of habluminallah and habluminanas, like how to make our maybe our life is safety, you know, as Muslim safety is maybe uh, maybe our activity in the context a citizen. And generally, I think we can understand interestingly in the aspect of maybe technology and science, how to understand about the role of the mosque in the context of science and technology. Like the former of Vice President Yusuf Kala at that time said that the function of the tower of the mosque in the country can be used to like antenna, you know, antenna for radio channel, maybe, and also from and also the tower can be used as object tourism, like like Al Akbar in Surabaya, Masjid Al Akbar in Surabaya, Masjid Agung ya, Masjid Agung Al Akbar in Surabaya. The tower as a place of tourism destination. This is part of income for masjid, yeah, because the tower is high, and I think we can enjoy to see the maybe the run of the city, the run the mosque, yeah, about the environment, yeah. This is part of a side of the mosque function. Jadi for contributing the destination of tourism in the city, like in Surabaya. Insya Allah, in ITS also the Masjid Manarul Ilmi, yeah, built about the tower like Masjid Agung in Surabaya, Al Akbar, Al Akbar Mosque. The Insya Allah ya. Nah, so I think also contribute maybe for everyone to know more about the ITS from the symbol of tower of the mosque in the campus. This is, I think, interesting, yeah, for everyone. Like in Malang, yeah, in Malang, I think also a good, maybe good way in making the mosque is like magnet to make people to visit there. Like this video, I think make people or maybe a YouTuber to take the video, to take the picture, maybe in everywhere, in every city, maybe there are good mosques, or maybe different mosques to show all people, maybe to inspire. Jadi many place, I think, many mosques, but not all mosques is a good in maybe in architecture to make us inspire, to make us motivate. But this is, I think, part of example to analyze, to explore about the function of the mosque, specifically in the architecture or in the physics aspect. Yes, many aspects, I think, to explore the function of the mosque, but the presenter, I think, success to try to present and give other side, or maybe different aspect of the function and the role of the mosque. I think that's all from Pak Khairul Notes, and thank you for everyone. Inshallah, we meet again in the next meeting in the different topic of presentation. Alhamdulillah, let's say hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Ya. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Thank you very much. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.